performing Iban Kumute, or one-point sparring, is from two angles, and you can see very, very clear that Funagoshi is very, very exact. Okay. And one of the things that you'll notice is that Funagoshi stances, they're much more natural, approximately shoulder length apart. In karate, changed a bit after his death and got longer, but you're going to see Funagoshi, how he taught his karate. One interesting thing about this tape, when you see Funagoshi, he had a very, very strong grip. You notice that since Isao Bata is punching in, Funagoshi parries the blow, but he's either got a hold of the wrist or the gi. He's like, just pulls him a little off balance. Funagoshi was very short in stature, even for Okinawan standards. He was, at best, 5 feet tall, 135 pounds at best. Isao Bata was quite bigger, and many of Funagoshi's students were bigger than him. After all, he taught some American GIs. But you can notice that he could get inside of them. He would parry the blow, he would have this person off balance, and fire a very fast punch. What makes this tape extraordinary is that, again, when you start to look at people of his age in this era that can, walk or move around as agile as Funagoshi, this is what, all those years of karate training has done for him. And all those years date back to when he was a youth in Okinawa. Since Funagoshi was born premature, his date is a little obscure. For the record, they say he was born November of 1868. He altered his birthday to say 1970 so he could take some examinations to get into a medical college in Tokyo. And so he had to do that. So a lot of people say it was 1870, but it actually was 1868. He died April 26th in 1957. So that brings him up close to 90 years old, 89 years old. When you go back to Okinawa, when Funagoshi was raised, his father was of Shizuzuka, I'm not sure of this pronunciation, of samurai class. He was of samurai class, so there was a little bit status quo on Funagoshi's family. There was also a name change. I believe that Funagoshi's real name was Tomonagoshi, but was later on changed to Funagoshi. In any case, Funagoshi at a young age was taught the Chinese classics. And that's important because most Okinawans didn't have the opportunity to be educated. Work was very, very important. So Funagoshi was able to get an education at an early age, mostly through his grandfather.
Okay, and what was his relationship with the other masters of the other disciplines in Japan?
Okay, moving on. Funagoshi's major instructors, or two that he talks about, is Asato and Aitoso. Okay, Aitoso had other students, people like Miyagi Chojin, the founder of Goju, a legend in his own time. And if I could take just a minute to talk about Miyagi Chojin was recognized as probably the most powerful individual. His physical strength was probably the highest of like people like Kenwa Mabuni and Gichin Funagoshi. He was a very, very powerful man, a wealthy man. And Kenwa Mabuni, also a student of Aitoso. Now, don't forget that these guys had trained with other people. Matsumura, Higaonna, a lot of different influence. But the relationship that the three of them had was very, very cordial and very like dojo brothers. I think that they, at that time, when the three of them didn't have a particular style. They just were studying Tote or Rokyu, Kempo, whatever they were calling it back then. It wasn't really called karate then, yes and no. But the three of them shared a common interest, and that was to train in karate and to hopefully to introduce karate to the world, because they believed that they were trained warriors. Now what that meant was that the three of them believed that it was like if you gave somebody a gun, that gives you a lot of power. Okay? You can do two things. You can have the gun for peaceful purposes, and you can have the gun to take the life. The way they trained was almost the same thing. They had the power to take a life, and they had the power to use it for defense only. The three of them had that consensus amongst them. And so with that, they kind of had the same philosophy. So I believe that, and many, many references, when you talk to Goju people about Funagoshi, those who were around at that time have much respect for one another. I think that, like modern day times, Goju people stick with Goju, Shotokan sticks with Shotokan, Shinto-ryu sticks with, the police of Kenwan Mobuni. But back in their days, when you ask about the three of them, they had tremendous harmony among each other. And they worked out with each other whenever they could and helped out with each other whenever they could.
What can you actually tell us about the naming of the style, Shotokan?
Interesting. Okay, Funagoshi, besides being a great karate man, Funagoshi wrote a lot of poems, mostly about karate. And so when he signed these poems, he would sign it under his nickname, Shoto. Shoto translated means pine waves. And he got that name because many times when he